Hi, this is Umair. Today we are going to discuss data collection for HRD evaluation. Previously, we discussed evaluation of HRD, how to evaluate their human resource development programs. So, you were already discussed about this matter as well. Number one is that one, what kind of data they are required, what kind of policies they have, and what kind of framework they are using. What is the output of evaluation, what is the objective of the evaluation. That was belong from of the previous session. This session we are going to discuss about is data collection for HRD evaluation. Which kind of data required for HRD? What is the major things, what are the major points? Because when we are evaluating we need some things. Previously we discussed model, background, importance. Now we are going to discuss what kind of data they are required. It's a very important topic in this perspective. Number one, any evaluation effort requires the collection of data to provide decision makers with facts and judgments about which they can base their decision. Another thing is three important aspects of providing information for HRD evaluation. Data collection method, what is the way of data, what kind of the procedure you're going to adopt, types of data, which data are required, and the use of self-report data. You can say that this section is basically kind of belong from business research method, because we are going to discuss also research design and their policies as well. These are the basically some types of data collection method. Number one, interview, conversation with one or more individual to assess their opinions, observations, and belief. Number two, questionnaire, a standardized set of questions, indeed to access opinions, observations, and belief. Another point is direct observation, observing a task or set of tasks as they are performed and recording what it's seen. Test and simulation, structured situation to assess an individual knowledge and proficiency to perform some task or behavior. And archival performance, existing information such as a file and report. So I will further discuss in deep down one by one: interview, questionnaire, direct observation, test and simulations, archival performance. Interview is very simple is that once you call a person who just get training and you discuss with them, about the interviews, about your training program, you can get some information as well. What kind of material they were using, as it was the material was updated, what kind of content he was using as the most relevant, what kind of information they are sharing with us, what kind of example they are sharing with us. You can get complete information what happened in your training as well. Then the second, you can use some questionnaires, your opinions, observations, and beliefs. But there are some drawbacks of the questionnaire as well. For instance, at the some time the person is not become biased, and the person is putting something information which is beyond his approach, because we cannot say that the training what will happen 100% a person or man who is getting training, he can observe everything. Maybe he skipped something. So better in the observation and then direct observation. So we can give some task. So we can give some, like, there are a performed and recording what is seen. So the person who is delivering their lecture, we can also observe. I personally like this one as well. So what he is doing, we can directly observe. We can make a video and about the discussions at each and everything. That would make more easy for us. Some other common questions come in our mind when we talk about the evaluation, which kind of evaluation we need as well. For instance, do you think that this session was worthwhile? Do you think that it's important? For instance, last time I attended my session in somewhere in Malaysia, so it was not worthy for me. I was bored. I said, Prof, this is not relevant to me. So the very first question in our mind, that is irrelevancy. Why he attended and why he joined, I don't know. But the thing is, we can say this: maybe the HR management sent wrong person there. Maybe he is not willing to learn something from there. So, do you think that it's worthwhile? So, another point is, How well did the trainer do the job? How much he has or she has interactive session? How much he or she interact with you? For instance, last time there was a training a person come from Nestle. The one thing which I mostly like from him, the interactive session. He asked questions from the audience. He didn't come and start speaking, presenting something and go away. No, he started questions, asking about opinions. What you learn? What is your opinion? What are your views about this one? So this is point we can observe that uh, how much he is interested in their job. And the third one is what did you like most about this session? It is very basically clever question. So we can mostly identify that which particular area you are more observing them and you are more engaged in that particular area. For instance, a person will start presentation, 1 hour presentation, half an hour presentation. So when we ask somebody what you did there, so they were silent. Somebody said, "Okay, sir." When he was talking about the games, when he was talking about the some intel artificial intelligence, when he was talking about some ERP, so that was very interested for because he or she is maybe like that particular area. So we can say this: the purpose of the trainer is almost conveyed to that particular person who was willing to engage them. What did you like least, and how could you we improve? It's a very simple is that we can also get some information how we can further improve that. So some people said, sir, okay, it was very bored presentation. We was sitting there and the presenter was speaking, and finally he said, go back. Interactive session required here. Some videos required here because you are listening something is something else. You're watching something is something else. When somebody is giving some ads about your opinions, some they share some different opinion about the different leaders, so it will make more attraction for you. For example, in the training session you are getting some training from your trainer. Suddenly they upload some video of Warren Buffett, they upload the video of Bill Gates, they upload the video of Imran Khan, they upload the video of somebody else. So it will make more convenient and easy for you. Another last point is, do you have any comments or suggestion? Very important. You can suggest somebody. You can give some comments about anybody. So it will make more easy, more convenient. So now you are sharing your opinion. Now you are giving some suggestion. You become more worthwhile. That okay, I am. If I was there, if I will arrange this meeting, so I will make arrangement like this. I will call presenter like this. So the most important thing which we are going to discuss is data collection method. There are three vital issues of considering when deciding which data collection method to use are reliability, validity, and practicality. So we are going to discuss about the reliability. Reliability has to do with consistency of results and the freedom from error and bias in our data collection method. A method that has little or no error on bias is highly reliable, whereas the result of method that has significant error or bias is unreliable and cannot be trusted. Basically, reliability is based on the instrument which you select for the questionnaire. For instance, you have to select some one line at the which kind of supply chain risk you are facing, which kind of information you required for your relationship manager. When you talk about these two specific lines, so you have to take these two lines from reliable source, reliable database. Reliable source means the person, the researcher who already conducted the research and then who used it in his or her research and asked about the findings. Important thing is when you run your data on your softwares, so there is the AVE. The AVE is the basically average method. If your instrument, the one line is reliable, it will exist there. If it is not reliable, it will automatically remove or show that it is unable to continue further. So if a person who used 7 or 8 instruments, means 7 or 8 statements in one question under the one heading, after the data analysis, there becomes 4 from the 7. So you have to prefer that four particular instrument instead of that seven, because it means that these four are more important and reliable as compared to other one. These thing is when you go for data collection method, the number one thing is reliability, and these are the important element of the reliability. And for example, suppose leadership skills are judged by having supervisor watch employee interact with each other in role playing exercise. If one of the supervisor assign consistently harsher score than the other, that personal bias or error will be reflected in low leadership ability scores for certain employee who might otherwise be considered excellent leader. The same is, for instance, the mistake which we happenly done in our data collection method when we fill our questionnaire. Most of the people think about definitely we have to go to strongly agree. If somebody put all their instruments strongly agree, this become reflect the biasness in your questionnaire. And if the something put somebody put strongly disagree in all instrument which we use 20, 25, or 30, so it reflect biasness as well, because there is a no opinion, either a person who strongly agree as a person who strongly disagree. So this thing is reflect biasness, which I share the example of the employee with you. Another example, we have talked about the importance of employee possessing sufficient computer self-efficacy to make use of the available technology at work, including for training and development purpose. For organization to measure this to see that extent to which their employee possess computer self-efficacy, there must be reliable, consistent measure then can be used to capture this. So this is another example which you can go to measure the reliability as well. When you conducting your data collection, these kind of issue you must have in your mind, and this topic will helpful also in the research. Nobody, somebody talk about the reliability, somebody talk about the validity, so you can easily discuss these things, and you can easily focus on your and during your research you can always focus on this method as well. For instance, other is the basically types of data. There are three types of data exist here. The number one is individual performance, system-wide performance, and economic performance. We already discussed about the economic condition as well. Individual performance data emphasize an individual trainee's knowledge and behaviors, like we identify that Kirkpatrick method at second and third level. They know about the learning and there's something about their perception about all these things. Another example of these kind of data include the employee test score, number of units produced, timeliness of performance, quality of performance, attendance, and attitude. These things you can easily measure on the uh, from your employee directly as well. Another thing which we are going to discuss here is the validity. Another issue is to consider in selecting a data collection method is validity. So I will upload in your device as well. And the validity is concerned with whether the data collection method usually measures what we want it to measure. That is, we are hitting the right target. For example, suppose a trainer decided to use written test to measure whether trainees has learned the procedure for completing travel expense forms. The test is valid to extent that the score on the test include whether the employee actually knows how to complete the form, number one. If the focus of training was knowing which information to report on the expense form, but the item on the test focus more on performing calculations, to test score may be measuring with wrong thing. If this is the case, use of such tests will likely lead to poor decision. There's two different things it discusses here. The number one, the form they are talking about, the trainer decided to use written tests to measure whether trainees have learned the procedure of completing travel expense form. And the thing, the test is valid to extend the score on the test indicate whether the employee actually knows how to complete the forms. That is a very important thing. Either they know about it or no, they definitely have some training about this to how to complete their form as well. The test is valid to extent that the score on the test indicate whether the employee actually know how to complete the form. If the focus of training was knowing which information to report on the expense form, but item on the test focus more on performing calculation. If I give you some calculation, so it is difficult to measure you by yourself on the questionnaire. If I ask about what you spend, how many expense you incur when you travel from one country to another country, so you can easily uh, uh, fill this that particular form. So that's why the collection of question is very important here. The items of item is very important here, either they are valid or relevant or not. So the reliability and validity are complex issue, and assessing them often requires knowledge of statistics and measurement concept. For instance, definitely if you definitely you would have to hire some expert from the statistical department, those who are easily use SPSS, smart PLS, MOS, they can do. Mostly HRD people are not familiar with these types of things, but when you're talking about the evaluation, so it is a very important aspect. So it is important for the organization. They can also hire these kind of people to validate their instrument, to validate their training and development session. In addition to being reliability and validity, data collection method must also be practical, given the constraints of an organization. Practicality concerns how much time, money, and resources are available for evaluation method. For example, conducting interviews with all supervisors to assess employee job behavior may take more time than the staff has available. In this case, interviewing a sample of supervisor or using a question may be practical alternatives. As mentioned earlier, realistic and creative trade-offs can assure that an evaluation effort is carried out and yield useful information. So it is clear now we have a three things: reliability, validity, and practicality. So now we are going to move further about the types of data. At least three types of data are available, which I already discussed with you. For evaluating HRD effectiveness: individual performance, system-wide performance, and economic. Individual performance data emphasize on individual trainees' knowledge and behavior. Example of these kind of data include employee test score, number of units produced after the training, what is improvement in their production, test score. We assigned some quiz during training session, timeliness of performance, quality of performance, attendance and attitude, behavioral issues, attendance when we assign some time management training. So we can see this how time management training impact on the attendance and the condition at their job, and attitude. Either we assign some training about the behavioral issues and what attitude he is showing there, and quality of performance. For instance, somebody receive computer related new software training and how he or she is performing at their job. Another is a system wide performance data concern the team, division, or business unit in which an HRD program is conducted, and can include data concerning an entire organization. For example, system wide data include productivity, rework, scrap, customer and client satisfaction, and timeliness. And the third point is economic data report. Economic data report the financial and economic performance of organization or units. That is bottom line and include profit, product, liability, avoidance of penalties such as fine for non-compliance with laws and regulation. You also know that there's the revenue department and the food and authority. They impose fine. They sometimes they seal their restaurants. So it is these are the things which is important here. They are basically have some parameters. If they or he or she they cannot meet that parameter, so this kind of hurdle they are facing. So these are the fine with which we can impose easily. Economic data is what ROI, return on investment, and utility calculation generally seek to provide. It is generally more difficult for HRD researcher and professional to demonstrate connection and impact from HRD intervention to economic and financial measures. So These are the things here about the types of data and which kind of data we already discussed here, what the role of these things in the organization. Maybe some is internal, some is external. So you have to focus in your minds about which kind of data and the performance of data and the types of data they are. A complete evaluation effort would ideally include all three types of data. So when you have these three types of data, the evaluation can occur easily. Another thing is which is important here, that is called research design. A research design is a plan for conducting an evaluation study. Research design is a complex topic. So the people understand that the student you have to must have to understand that when you're going for the evaluation, you are all go through from the research and design process. A research design provide a plan or a blueprint for conducting an evaluation of study. Research design is a critical aspect of any evaluation effort because awareness of research design issues and possible research design alternative can help a manager or HRD professional conduct effective evaluation, also critique the results of evaluation studies done by other. What is a basically research design practice is? When evaluating any HRD effort, the researcher or HRD professional will want to have high level of confidence that any changes observed after a program or intervention are due to intervention and not to some other factors like changing in the economy, organization, or reward structure in the place. This is a basic notion of validity, that is where we confident in the accuracy of our conclusion. Unfortunately, it still remain quite typical that if outcomes are measured at all, they only focus after the training program has been completed. The basic picture is following: training provided, evaluations measure collected. So the trainer would obviously like to see high value on each measure collected from, for example, positive reaction, high score on the learning measures, and positive indicator of behavior change and results. But that problem might result from only collection measures after the training has been completed. For one thing, such a one-shot approach may not be measuring the most important things. The point is, which my personal opinion is, a person who is come to attend the training, you must have to give some pre-quiz. What is the understanding about that? What is the learning level? How he learned from their training? How he learned from their job before the training? So when you go for it, you must know about it. What was understanding before the training and how much he or she improved after the training. So, research design practice to have greater confidence that the outcomes observed were brought about by training and not some other extension factors. The following practice should be included in the research design: pre-test and post-test. Including both pre-test and post-test allows the trainer to see what has changed after the training. If the majority of the trainees already know the material covered in training before they started, the high score on the post-test measure of training become much less impressive. So we can easily measure here about the pre-test and post-test during this training session. Another thing is control group. A control group is a group of employees similar to those who receive training, but they don't receive training at the same time. However, this group receives the same evaluation measures as the group that is trained, which allow for comparison of the score. The ideal scenario occurs when the training group and the control group have similar scores before training, and then the score for the training group increase after training while those of the control group remain constant. So here you cannot only observe the person who is receiving training, you can also observe the trainer. There are two groups. One is receiving training about the digital marketing, another group receiving training about the digital marketing. So what you can easily observe that the impact of trainer as well. How aggressively, impressively, and motivated way how he is training. If he or she is training in a very good way, then you can go the impact of these two group, what they are performing. Either their performance is very good. What about the performance of first group? What about the performance of second group? Then you can easily judge, and you can easily know about where is the lack. Either now, if the one group is performing good and other group is not performing group, and the trainer is also providing same way, so here we can identify that what is the actually happened with that particular people. So we can easily identify that person or employee, what is happened with them and why they are not responding them. So evaluation is a difficult task, but when we go through all these chapters, you can easily identify that the things which comes in your mind, you can easily evaluate your training program as well. So finally, the thing is research design of validity. What is research design validity as well? The validity of research design depends on extent to which one can be confident that the conclusion drawn from it are true. The conclusion which you are conducting, is it true or not? Another thing, validity design is judged on a continuum from high confidence that the design yield truthful conclusions and low doubtfulness about the decision design calculation. So these two things are important when you go for the research design validity, because everything measured for the validity. First, we measure about the research design, the questions which we measure here, which kind of instrument we have to take, and what is the impact of that instrument. Like we go for the validity, reliability, and practicality. And now this is the validity of that particular topic. So now the research design which we provide research design, and what is the validity of particular research design as well. So we can also measure that research design validity to know about it. So thank you for today's session. Let me conclude a little bit. We discussed today about the data collection for evaluation, what things we require for data collection for HRD evaluation, data collection method we discussed today, types of data and the use of self-report data as well. Then we discussed about the data collection method, about the interviews, questionnaire, direct observation, test and simulations, archival performance. Another thing we discussed, what other types of common question in our today topic. Data collection method, the important thing is reliability, validity, and the practicality. These things are important. These things important during data collections. But during data collection, the main important thing is our questionnaire, which kind of questionnaire we have. So of which kind of instrument we need in our questionnaire. So when we used our instrument there, so this is an important thing. We must have to put these things for instrument. Either they are reliable, either they are valid, and either they are practical. We cannot go for anything which we are in our mind and we can put there. No, this is always systematic collection. In the systematic collection, you have to choose what Umair done in his study, what somebody else done in his evaluation method. So you have to choose that particular instrument question to put in the questionnaire and to go for the analysis. We cannot analyze by ourselves. So that's why these things are very important, because we know that Umair did it and somebody else. So this instrument is valid because the validity also measure in the numeric form, which is given by that particular article or book. So these are three types of data we discuss here: individual performance, system-wide performance, and economic performance. Individual performance we can easily measure through Kirkpatrick's model, and the other thing is employee test score, timeliness, performance, quality of performance, attendance, and attitudes. Research design, we also prepare our complete research design process, how to conduct this research, how to evaluate our performance, and how to evaluate from the trainer, how to evaluate from the trainees. These things are important in there. Which kind of method you have to use, pre-test and post-test, and control group as well. and you also validate your research design validity. The validity of research design depend on the extent to which one can be confident that conclusion drawn from it true, either the method you used, and you will also see the performance of their employees. So you can see that the research design, the complete mechanism you develop, this is valid, and you are getting some output from there. So that's all from today's session. Then in the next session, I will upload the video and we will discuss about the impact of economic growth on the human development, impact of impact of HRD development on the country economic growth. Thank you for today. That's all.